Hello everybody and happy Monday. It is yet again once time for another episode of Mark's Monday Minutes. And as you can tell, it is the weekend of July 4th. Monday, in fact, is July 3rd. Tomorrow will be the 4th of July. And I'm hoping that if you've already started, if not continuing into tomorrow, to celebrate the freedoms for which this country was founded and what you are afforded by all those who have sacrificed to get us to where we are today. Let's begin with the week of July 3rd. By no big surprise, there are three takeaways this week. First of all, holiday activity is going to bring things down probably for 2 weeks on either side of the holiday. Second of all, we're going to see a few more price adjustments here as we go forward for the second half of the year. This is perfectly normal. And finally, three, the market is still being driven by low inventory, folks. I can't tell you how many YouTube channels I see out there just screaming headlines. And that's all I get. A lot of fluff and not much substance. So let's get into the numbers to give you some substance. First of all, the number of active listings this week has dropped, as expected due to the holiday. 3,746 listings currently in the market for Portland area. This is down from 3,811 last week. Part of this is because the new available homes this week, only 444 homes compared to 611 new homes the previous week. That's a drop of 37%. Why is that? Sellers decided they didn't want to put their home on the market right before the 4th of July weekend. Now, I have a seller who made the other decision because they realized, why not have all these people on vacation, that in between all their vacation festivities, they'll find the listing. Well, it's also a significant listing. It'll probably take the entire weekend to get through all 180 pictures and 3 videos and 4 floor plans for that house. It's a big house with a really big commercial shop and 13 acres to wander around. So we can tell you more about that, or you can reach out to me separately. It's out in Carver. It's phenomenal. It's the most amazing property I've ever seen with the most incredible amount of infrastructure. Wonderful. We'll talk about it. Number of sold homes in the number of pending homes in the last week, 472. So the number of pending homes actually is just slightly higher than the number of new active homes. Why is this? Buyers are still out there looking. They're not based on the calendar or the timeline. Sellers, however, were, so they dropped down a little bit this week, but the pending activity is still continued strongly, just under 500 per week. The number of sold homes in the last week, 431, consistent with the numbers and continually growing since back in the beginning of June, the end of May, when the serious buyers were wrapping up a school and looking to get out and make purchases. The number of homes with a price adjustment in Portland, 949, sitting right at that 25.3%. It's the first time we've ticked up above 25%. We've been toying around with that 23-24%, perfectly normal. National levels are up at 31-32% of homes with a price adjustment, and we talked about this as option 2 here later in the video. Number of coming soon homes on the market, there are 40, the same number as there were last week. Perfectly normal, as folks are probably waiting. They released either before the 4th of July weekend or they're waiting for a few more to come to market. I suspect they released them before 4th of July, and this is just our residual 40, more typical of what we would see this time of the year. Now, let's get into the number of sold homes in the last 30 days, 1,672, slightly down from the week before then, but it gives us roughly 2.2 months worth of inventory, which again has very low inventory, relative scarcity. And Amy, in the 17 years I've been in real estate, I've seen it from 1.5 months of inventory up to 17 months of inventory. A balanced market would be considered 4 to 6 months of inventory. And again, we're still down at 2.25, 2.25. That's not much at all, folks. Okay, the number of garage homes, 116, same number as last week, with 30 of those being in the affordable garage category, under $1 million. 9 new listings this week with only 1 in that affordable category. However, 6 homes pending, of which 4 were affordable 4-car garage homes. That's a good plus. And the number of sold homes in the last week, 11. That means 11 buyers, 4 of which were under $1 million. 11 buyers put homes in contract back at the end of May, beginning of June, that were closing now. These are buyers looking for these garage homes, and the best homes have been out there for them to purchase. 11 buyers made that decision to purchase. In the last 30 days, we've seen 33 homes sold with a 4-car garage, 18 of which are 4-car garage, big garage homes. This gives us roughly, for the large homes, for all 4-car garage homes, roughly 3.5 months of inventory. Again, we're looking at small volatility, highly volatile, small numbers. As a result, last week we were at 5.5 months of inventory by the analysis. This week we're at 3.5. The reality is there are garage homes out there. What is becoming more scarce because of those homes that did sell in the last 30 days is the number of affordable garage homes has now dropped. At the current rate, we're selling below 2 months worth of inventory. So if you were looking for those affordable garage homes, you might have missed the opportunity, but I've got 2 opportunities for you. Reach out to me and I can tell you what they are. I just can't put it out publicly yet. Okay, let's get to those takeaways. Again, holiday activity is down. The number of new active listings this last week, okay, it's down 37%. Absolutely normal and expected with a holiday weekend. We'll probably see this low 2 weeks in a row, the week leading up to 4th of July and the week after following 4th of July. Perfectly normal because pending sales dropped only 7%. That was it. So if you have 37% drop in new listings, but only 7%, we expect more pendings. We expect that buyer activity to continue. Expect a bump in, again, at active listings probably a week or 2 out. We'll start to see those numbers come back up. Now, typically, we talk about price adjustments. Typically, the best homes come on the market in the first half of the year, quarter 1, quarter 2. Why is that? Because sellers know that for their home to be ready for market, they've gotten out of the winter doldrums and they come on the market in that second quarter of the year so they can go under contract and close. The sellers and the buyers can both move in the summer when it's much better weather to move, and they can get settled in before the fall, before the holidays. Now, there are other homes that do come into market later in the second half of the year. These are homes that perhaps are not as prepared for market, not as ready. That's okay, but we will usually start to see more price adjustments, whether those homes at the beginning of the year didn't sell, as they run into competition with the new homes that come on the market, perhaps of a slightly lesser preparation level. I don't want to say lesser quality, but lesser preparation. And then you throw weather on top of that. So it's perfectly normal to see price adjustments. Now, unlike last year that was just off the charts because sellers were desperate to sell, they rushed homes to market in June ahead of what appeared to be a slower season because of changes of interest rates. And that created a glut and a much higher rate of price adjustments. However, interestingly enough, prices still remained high for those homes that sold. So if you're a seller thinking about selling, okay, we're already into the third quarter of the year. There are still strategies we can use to avoid those price adjustments and still sell. Again, reach out to me. I'm going to wrap this up because it's a long one and it's time to go celebrate the 4th of July. Have yourself a wonderful, safe holiday. I implore you to celebrate and relish and value those freedoms that you have by being a citizen of the United States, by living in this country and being here and being afforded that. Have a wonderful 4th of July. We'll see you next week.